So today's video is for the men in my audience, and I know that there are a few of you who do watch. My brother, friends of mine, my stepfather, and I'm assuming through you guys there may be one or two other guys. So today's video is all about testosterone replacement therapy for men, and obviously I'm not a man. I can't speak about it from my point of view, but I'm just going to share with you today my partner's experience. So he has been on and off trying testosterone replacement therapy. He's tried testosterone decanoate, I think he said was the first one, which I don't know why, but he said he just stopped those injections. I think it's an injectable. Then he went on to Sustanon quite successfully. He had a good run with that. He enjoyed it. But what he didn't like about the Sustanon is that you've got to go back for your injection every, is it every 4 weeks? I can't remember now exactly the time frame. So every so many weeks, you've got to go back and the doctor has got to inject for you. And also the doctor wanted to obviously monitor his blood levels of testosterone and get him to do the PSA marker levels. So that's the prostate cancer checking levels. So you can go for a blood test for that. He then tried Nebido, which is a longer acting ester, I think, in an injectable form of testosterone. The problem there was that he did that quite shortly after he had done a Sustanon. I think he'd waited 2 to 3 weeks. Then he went for the Nebido shot, which is longer acting, because he thought what he could do is get away with obviously not going back to the doctor so often for an injection. I mean, who wants to go to the doctor for an injection, right? So, but he'd done the one, then he did like 2 to 3 weeks later the next injection, and he went for a massage that day or the next day or something. And you're actually not supposed to rub that in. That injection, I think it's like a ball of oil basically, and the slow release testosterone esters or however they get it to release. You're supposed to leave it and not physically touch it. And so I think what happened was that the that the massage, the lady obviously rubbed, like it's at the top of your buttocks here. The doctor injects on the top sort of part of your rump. And I think with the massage, it actually released more than it should have. And so what he found with the Nebido is that he felt great, great, great. All of a sudden, he got this like rush of nervous, anxious, aggressive energy. Not that I noticed anything. He wasn't aggressive to anyone. But on the inside, that feeling of irritability and like aggression, he says. So, I mean, he's the sweetest, kindest person. On the surface, I never noticed anything other than he had this energy of like, let's go, let's do, let's get everything done, let's, sort out all the things in the house, let's get, and that was a little bit too much for me because he was like on this like, let's go, let's do mission. And I'm quite a chilled, calm, like everything in its place, every step by step. So that's what I noticed. But he said that internal feeling was starting to make him feel anxious, wired, and eventually tired of it. And so eventually he went for a blood test to check his levels, and his levels were through the roof. Now, here in South Africa, I don't know off the top of my head what the unit of measurement is that they measure, but his testosterone levels were 900, whereas good levels for his age and for a man would be up to about 400, I think. Medium would be like 300, I think. Sort of below low would be below 100. I don't know exactly like I said, the unit of measurement. But what happened basically was that his levels shot up to like close to raging teenager levels. And he, like I said, he experienced this negative feeling, not a good feeling. Whereas on the Sustanon before, he noticed that there would be this slow rise, then he'd feel really good for, I think, 3 weeks or however long it lasts in your system. And then it would like taper off, and then he'd feel a dip, then go back for the next injection. He'd feel good, like this rise of feeling good, feeling energized, and then it would taper off. So now what he's doing is he's got a script from the doctor. He's on this androgel here. And these are, I'm going to show you because I thought it's quite interesting. Not many men know, not many men really do testosterone therapy, but it's a single-use, daily-use sachet. So I'll get out the way there. And it's 50 milligrams of testosterone in each. So one sachet of 5 grams contains 50 milligrams of testosterone. Now, what my gynecologist told me was that If a female wants to use testosterone gel, because currently there is no pharmaceutical testosterone for females, so I'm on a compounded gel, meaning a small local compounding pharmacy makes it. It's not regulated like pharmaceutical products are. I would need to use 1/10 of that. Therefore, a female dose would be, what's 1/10 of 50? It's 5. So that would be a female dose. Now, for a female to scoop out like 1/10 would be possible, but quite hard to measure. How would you divide this up accurately? I suppose you could guesstimate, and if you got a bit more on one day and a bit less on another day, so be it, that's fine. Like I say, I'm on, it comes in a pump bottle. In fact, I'll show you, hold on. So I'm on this here. This is the Idexis Testo Gel. So this is available in South Africa. So obviously the androgel being pharmaceutical, I'm assuming you could get that anywhere in the world. This here, it is a South African compounding pharmacy, but I do know that there are compounding pharmacies virtually in every westernized country you can think of. So you could just look for the equivalent in your country. And this, I use half a pump, even though one full pump is the female dose. What I found through testing my levels is that that actually shoots my levels up too high, just over what would be optimal for a female. So I don't want to virilize. I don't want to turn into a man. I don't want to grow whiskers and all that. So I keep my dose to half. Now, what my partner has said is that on the androgel, it's a very subtle feeling. And then I'm trying to ask him questions because obviously he's not on YouTube. He has no interest in being on YouTube, but he's happy for me to share his story. And he says that the difference that he feels is like 7 out of 10 improvement. It's not like this is going to, wow, make you feel like Superman. It's very, very subtle. And that's how I feel about like my estrogen replacement therapy. It's also a gel. I feel better, but it's so subtle. It's just like when all the music is in tune, you know, music can play, but if it's out of tune, it's just like, not right. And I'm assuming he feels the same. He just says he feels overall better. And so this is an option if you are looking for something that you can control. So if you're feeling like, I mean, for some reason, if the dose goes too high, like what I mean is with the libido, that one where his levels shot too high, he was now stuck. You've got to wait. Once that injection is in you, it's in you. It can't come out. So he had to wait until it just slowly wore off, and then his levels had to dip. Now, before he went onto the androgel, he was on the libido. He waited for his levels to drop down, and then I think they dropped relatively low. He went for a blood test before this with the doctor, and then his levels were like on the low side of normal, so low for a 44-year-old male, but still within range. And so the doctor was quite hesitant to put him on anything, but as my partner said to the doctor, it's not like he wants to feel low normal, he wants to feel optimal. And he's willing to go for all the PSA marker tests and monitor everything if the doctor's happy to prescribe. So that's the story behind the androgel. And I would say that if you are a male in your mid 40s, 40 onwards, you may start to be feeling possibly the effects of your testosterone dipping. Then again, it's hard to know because also life happens. That is probably the most stressful time in most people's lives is mid 40s. We've got aging parents, we've got young kids, we've got bills and debts, we've got homes we are paying off, and all the kinds of things, you know, careers, businesses we're trying to run. So I think, especially for men, you need to just make sure that it's not uncontrolled or unmanaged stress levels. I'm not a doctor, so obviously work with a doctor, and I'm a female, I'm not a male, but you just need to know that this is available with the help of your doctor, and you're just trying to get your levels back to like an optimal normal range. And like my partner said, it's not that he could live without it, but he would prefer not to. He feels the improvement, but it's more like just a subtle feeling. It's not this like with the injectables, you get a whoa, nice, oh, dip. This is obviously very stable as well because you can use one a day. It's the same dose every day. Hopefully you're using it at the same time every day. And so that's what I wanted to say, is that you do need to obviously test your levels before you just go onto something. It might give you some strength, performance enhancement in the gym. It may or may not. I wouldn't rely on this for any of that. And again, that's a whole separate sort of thing, is testosterone use for gym bros. And I know that they do, of course. Again, you've got to decide how bad are you going to allow yourself to feel before you maybe reach for a little bit of help. He just says that he feels he can cope. So I think that's worth noting, that he can just sort of cope a bit better with the stresses of life. That is how I feel when I'm on my Femi gel. So it's the estrogen gel. I feel like I'm just able to cope. I wake up facing life with a positive mindset instead of this, oh God, and where you don't want to get out of bed. So I hope that just sharing his story has helped you. I hope you've got some more information just for you if you are considering testosterone replacement therapy. And again, of course, you have to work with a doctor on these kinds of things. So thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.